And you can see there that Indonesia have played 2 and won 1. Singapore have had a win from their only game, that was against Indonesia. And Myanmar is the third group in this team, and it is Singapore against Myanmar today. And do you ever go to a venue without the song being played at some stage during the competition? The lineups there for you in
player on the court, please.
Hopefully playing order. So Singapore has beaten Indonesia by 3 matches to 0 in their only clash, and Myanmar were beaten by Indonesia 3-0. So the officials there getting ready for the calls. The many calls will be from the players for lets and disputed points. A fabulous venue here. There'll be more people coming later on, of course, when Malaysia are playing, but Singapore looking to end their group play with another victory, therefore proceeding through to the next stage. Pamela Chua to open for the Singapore against Pyone. Glass back courts are absolutely glass back and front, as you can see, and sides as well, and enable everyone to be able to view. One of the great inventions in sport, really, and the squash, to be able to enable hundreds of people to view a match in centre court. He's having a good warm-up, and soon we'll get the call for the commencement of the first game. Singapore, Myanmar, women's teams competition. Singapore already with 2 golds in the jumbo doubles, men's and women's, and also a single and 3 bronze, a single in the men's doubles, and bronze in the men's and women's doubles and the mixed doubles. That's Singapore. Myanmar not on the medal tally at the moment in squash at the 29th SEA Games. The other members of the Myanmar team are Yhann and Thae. And for Singapore, Mao Shi and Yhann.
Thae.
'15 was significant for Singapore at squash at SEA Games. It was the time they won the gold medal in the men's jumbo doubles. It was their first gold medal in 20 years, so they've taken some steps since then to add 1 gold to that tally of 2 years ago. And they're certainly heading towards a clash later on to perhaps play for the gold medal in the teams event.
Time.
Right, the call there from the head referee. We're ready to start this opening tie. Pamela, Chua and Pyone from Myanmar, Singapore and Myanmar. And some youngsters, hopefully inspired by what they see today, and may well add to the strength of squash in some of the countries, some of the nations participating here at the SEA Games.
Okay.
29 SEA Games Kuala Lumpur 2017
The
team events.
Myanmar player looking very relaxed as she builds up to the start of this, and we're ready to go. First clash.
Chua, Yhann, Singapore to receive. Best of 5 games. The ball. Hand out. 1 love.
First point to Chua for Singapore. Good warm-up rally.
Down. Two left. Three left.
11 o'clock in the morning, so plenty of time to wake up and be alert for this. We've had a good warm-up as well.
4 left. Down. 5 left. 6 left. Down. 7 left.
Going for the low volley, hitting the tin, conceding that point and then picking up her first. So 1-7, serve with Pyone. Good shot. Down to the back corner. She's really just working her opponent around the court. Not very comfortable on those backhand shots down on the corner.
Game ball.
And once again,
Game to Singapore. For lead. 1 game to love.
So a very quick first game. There's really hardly any need to take time out at the break, certainly not for Singapore, but for Myanmar perhaps, to get a few words of encouragement out of this. 3 or 4 really bad mishits on the backhand in the corner. And she's still able to smile about it. The danger, of course, for the Singapore player, Pamela Chua, is that she relaxes too much with this being such an easy first game. But as we've seen in lots of sport, you can be well in control seemingly at one stage of a match and suddenly things change dramatically. So we'll see what happens in this first match, Singapore-Myanmar, women's team squash.
Singapore lead. 1 game to love. The ball.
Now again, that backhand is her undoing at the moment. And a point here. Oh, nice. Delicate little drop shot.
2-1. And down 2-all.
So you can hear the referee with his scores there, which doesn't match what we've got up on your screen, but certainly it is 2-all. 3-2 Singapore at the moment.
3-2.
Big drive down that forehand wall.
4-2. Right box. 6-2.
Good return. It's a nice shot by Chua, but Pyone was able to latch onto that. A good cross-court forehand for a winner. Oh.
And now 7-3.
Chua just able to control the tee. It's out.
And now 4-8.
Now heading up to the best rally of the match so far. The Singaporean
9-4
has the advantage. 9-4.
Game ball. Now 11-4. Game to Singapore, Singapore League, 2 games to love.
So 11-1, 11-4, that's the game scores, and it's 2 games to love in this first match between Singapore and Myanmar, women's team squash. Chua not really being tested here. The scoreline is very indicative of how these games have gone. I think maybe the Myanmar player has a bit of a problem with one knee, sort of favouring that a little bit. Maybe after that shot there. But certainly she's being beaten all around the court. Stroke play from Chua is better. Reflective time there for Pyone, who really has just not got into this game. A couple of points early in the second game, but not able to build on that at all. Here we go. Best of 5.
Now, 1 love. Now, and down, 1-all. Rock, stop. And down, 2-1.
Nicely into the corner.
3-1.
Haven't seen too many deft drop shots at all. It's mainly power shots down the wall into the corner, and those corner shots are beating
4-1.
the woman in blue quite severely, particularly on the backhand. There's another one.
5-1.
Oh, even the volley's defeating her now on the forehand.
6-1.
Just despairing at the moment. Not able to connect with anything. It's gone from bad to worse for her. This is going to be a very quick match.
8-1.
Ah, that's better. In good position.
2-8.
Nice judgment.
9-2.
From Chua, 9-2.
Match ball.
So we're at match ball now. 10-2. Can Chua do it? She does easily. 11-2. So she's won this first match by game scores of 11-1, 11-4 and 11-2. And really convincing from her. I was going to say hardly getting a sweat up, but as you saw at the break, she certainly was. She gets high fives. And the opening match has been won by Singapore in this clash with Myanmar women's team squash. Match 2 will start very soon. So far in the squash at the 27 SEA Games, the men's doubles won by Malaysia in the final against Singapore, and the beaten semi-finalists were Malaysia and Singapore, so 2 medals each for those respective countries in the men's doubles. The women's doubles, an all-Malaysian final with the Philippines and Singapore being the beaten semi-finalists. The mixed doubles, again an all-Malaysian final with once again the Philippines and Singapore getting the bronze medals. We've also played the jumbo doubles, the men's won by Singapore, beating Indonesia in that final, and the bronze medals were presented to Philippines and Thailand. And slightly different order in the minor medals for the jumbo women's doubles, with Singapore winning it, so 2 golds for them at the tournament to date. They beat Philippines in the final, with again Thailand and Indonesia getting the other medals. They have the bronze medals. So now we're into the women's team competition. Just round robin matches in this group, this particular pool. It's Indonesia is the third team involved, with Singapore and Myanmar. We've had the first of 3 singles matches, with Pamela Chua comfortably winning her match 11-1, 11-4, 11-2.
Ladies and gentlemen, next we will see the match between Myanmar and Singapore for the second match. To all of the players, please be standby. Ladies and gentlemen, the team will be warming up in a few minutes before we start the games.
Half time. time.
So the warm-up's been completed now, and we're just waiting for the official introduction, and then this match, the second of the singles matches in the women's teams event, it will take place. Singapore off to a wonderful start, 11-1, 11-4, 11-2. Pamela Chua winning her match. Now we see Yeong Yhann. There she is now, really making an impact on the Asian squash scene. She's the number 2 ranked under 19 female player in Asia, behind Watanabe of Japan. So this is just another opportunity for her to show her class, continue her very impressive progress to date.
Seconds. Time. 29 SEA Games Kuala Lumpur 2017. Third round women's team event match. Momo Thae of Myanmar to serve. Yeong of Singapore to receive. Best of 5 games. Love all.
So Momo Thae is to open this match with the service, and just hoping to give Myanmar a bit of punch in this tie, because at the moment they're well out of it at 3-0 in the first match. 11-1, 11-4, 11-2. They've lost also to Indonesia 3-0. And that ball's bounced up and over the front wall. You could see it in the distance. An official struggles to his feet, goes looking for it, and I think we'll bring it to the door rather than try and throw it over.
Stop, 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 hang on.
So 4 technical officials all clambering around the seat now, and where's the chief umpire going? Some confusion with regards to Myanmar. So we'll just wait and see what happens here. As Yeong just warms up by herself. The first point had been scored. The ball had gone out of court. The technical officials are answering some sort of query. And I'm sure we won't hear what it was about. Or will we?
Attention to Myanmar team manager. Attention to Myanmar team manager. Please come to center court right now.
Well, this makes it difficult too for Yhann, that she was focused on the start into the game, and then with 1 point gone, there is a major hold up here. The manager of the Myanmar team being called in. If the manager is
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
there's some technical errors. Please remain seated. We'll be right back.
Is it something to do with the player? Well, I can only guess from here, and we'll just have to wait and see what transpires as we take a look here at this young woman who's leading the way in the development of Singapore squash, which has really made some quite impressive strides. When we have a look at the age group rankings, Singapore players featuring quite prominently, and remember there's the likes of the Japanese and Malaysians there as well. Malaysians really making a big impact too in the world of squash. How upsetting for this young woman here, Moi Moi. What's going on? We'll just watch and wait.
Man, I think she might not be playing. She took a racket out.
What? Wrong player?
Wrong player.
What happened?
Wrong player, is it? Yeah.
As in the first person was
Also-
wrong already. Then how?
Oh shit.
We just say play on. Whoever registered, whatever order we should play
If they placed the wrong name in the team sheet, I'm just
You were the one supposed to play.
Yeah, now play?
Yeah, now play. Yeah. Okay. What is your name? About this way. Change team manager. No. Office. Yeah. They coming here. Yeah. What is your name? You are the fourth player? Number 4? First player.
so. In fact, what we're having here is this is not Momo or Moi Moi. It's someone else, perhaps.
Okay, second player?
So we put the wrong names in the sheet, and the sheet that we've been given has it as we have here, that we've given the list.
Who is Mama? Who is Mama? You're the one supposed to play. Squash.
So there's quite a bit of confusion. They had it down that Yhann would play Momo Thae, but there's now someone has alerted the officials to the fact that this is not Moi Moi, and so we're wondering whether this is in fact the fourth player in the team for Myanmar, but communication is quite difficult here and upsetting for both the players. Yhann sits it out.
So you proceed with this game, okay? Okay, now, so Singapore say no problem. We can play with this, no problem. Are you okay? Okay. So I will let her play. Okay? Alright.
particularly the official who's been very good working through this. He is going to let us know what the story is, but it does appear from what you've seen here that this is not the player who was scheduled to play against or in this particular match. But we heard the official say, the referee say, we'll let you play. Concentration totally gone for both these players, possibly. Right, all the officials back in their chairs. The microphone will be spun around, and with any luck we'll get the explanation. Team managers have to get around the venues. But one thing they must do is ensure that their playing schedule is right, that they have the details correct.
Singapore to serve. And out 1 love.
So, delay of 10 minutes. And I'm not sure who the player is from Myanmar is. Delicate shots at the front of the court there. The Singapore player who is now back into it. 19 years of age, or under 19 she is, 18 I think, and really very talented. So she's won both her matches in the teams event that they've played. And she looks like she has the ability to run her opponent all over the place.
Down. 4-1.
Oh.
Down 2-4.
Here in the backhand back court.
Now 5-2.
Returns a favour.
6-2.
Nice little
7-2.
volley. The kill just dropping instantly.
Eight-2.
In that backcourt area on the backhand is a problem that both of the Myanmar players have struggled to overcome.
Yeah. 10-2, game ball.
Well, a soft finish to the first game.
Singapore leads 1 game to love.
So 11-2 that first game, the best of 5. Already Singapore up by 1 match to 0. 11-1, 11-4, 11-2. Pamela Chua won hers. In this interrupted second match, a Myanmar competitor has dropped the first 11-2. So we're in the break between games here. The second match, second of 3. Singapore, Myanmar. Singapore, a 3-love win against Indonesia, who in turn beat Myanmar by the same score, 3-love. Oh, Yeong electing to wear the safety glasses. Myanmar looking very pensive and wondering, she looked to be complaining about or concerned about the lights here as the glasses go on again. The two contestants back in centre court.
Singapore leads 1 game to left. The ball.
Well, you sense that a Singapore player will just constantly play that backhand area deep into the backhand corner and probably just expect that she's going to get the points, because it's a real struggle.
And now 1-2. Not up. Stop. Not up. And now 3-1. And up. And now 2-3.
That's a good little shot. Just had the Singaporean on the move for the first time. 2-3. That'll defeat her.
And now 4-2. Out. 5-2. Down. 6-2.
Notice here the player from Myanmar squinting quite a bit when looking upwards. Maybe he is finding those lights a bit of a problem, but that's not a major problem here.
Yeah. 8-2. Out. 9-2. Yeah. 10-2.
Game point.
Ball.
Oh, she's quick enough to get there,
Game to Singapore.
but delivers it high
Singapore leads 2 games to
over
love.
the outline. And it's 2 games to love, Singapore, in this women's team squash event.
Singapore leads 2 games to love.
A few of the highlights from that second game, mainly featuring, of course, the Singapore player, who's won 11-2, 11-2. After this lot of confusion at the start of the match, the first point had been played, and then the referee was alerted to the fact that the player wearing blue and down on the team sheet as Moi Moi was in fact not her at all. So possibly we think it's the number 4 player from the Myanmar team. So it's a technicality really, but it's one that needed to be sorted. She sat there by herself just on the step during this break. Probably just thinking to herself, she's letting herself down a wee bit and allowing all that confusion early to worry her. Let's see what she can come up with. She gets the service, loose serve.
4 love, correction, 1-4. No. 5-1.
A lot of coaching and practice required to be able to get those backhand, backcourt shots in return effectively.
Can someone get the ball, please?
No one willing to move out of their seats to return the ball.
Thank you. 7-1. Eight-1.
Oh yes, instantly was the shot to play down that backhand corner again. Ah, yeah, well played. Did she get the let?
10-1.
Nope.
Match ball.
Match point. In fact, I don't think we've had a let in the 2 games we've seen. Oh, delicate shot.
2-10, match ball.
Yeah, back into that corner, just keep working it. That's the weakness. She exploited it again and regularly during these 3 games. And again, a straightforward win for Singapore. Yeong Yhann, 11-2, 11-2, and 11-2. There we go. So it's 2 games to nil, 2 games to love. The women's team squash Singapore and Myanmar. So very, very straightforward for the top junior squash player in Singapore and the 2nd ranked under-19 player in Asia. And she'll come up against much tougher opponents, of course, when she gets to the big time, the Asian Age Group Championships. So this probably wasn't the sort of workout she was hoping for. That'll come later as the squash continues here in Kuala Lumpur. Those are the results then so far of those 2 singles matches. As the necessary upkeep on the court is completed in between the games. Pamela Chua and Yhann, easy victors against their opponents from Myanmar. 11-1, 11-4, 11-2 Chua, and 11-2, 11-2, 11-2 for Yhann. From Singapore is the next competitor.
Attention to all the players for the match number 3. Please be standby.
This is Ai.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to invite the next player for the match number 3 from the team Myanmar and Singapore.
Hopefully there's a bit of action for her to just become a bit more alert. Looking very relaxed on a Sunday morning here in Kuala Lumpur as the 2017 Southeast Asian Games continue, the 29th edition of this event. And we're in the squash venue, which is very impressive. Not a big crowd here at all, with the home team not competing at the moment, but the team which dominates squash in this region, Malaysians. Already they've won 3 gold and 2 silvers in the competition through the doubles, men's, women's and mixed. Jumbo's doubles, well, this woman here was gold medalist in the Jumbo's doubles for Singapore just a couple of days ago. So Singapore have won both the Jumbo doubles, men's and women's. Now we have Shihui to play the third of the singles in this tie. warm-up continues as the spectators, there's a few more here now for this final clash between Singapore and Myanmar. Tien of Myanmar and Shihui from Singapore, who's already picked up one gold medal here in the doubles, jumbo doubles. She'll presumably take her jacket off. There she goes, nicely warmed up and ready. The squad giving her some encouragement. She's the experienced member of this team with plenty of national titles. The first one was back in 2010. She's attended Yale University in the States, where she also was very impressive in their squash team. So she should prove too strong again for her opponent. There's bigger games ahead for them, of course, with Malaysia coming up over the next day. Singles begin later tonight. I think first match is at 7 o'clock this evening, the singles, men's and women's.
Singapore to receive by so 5 game level. And out, 1 love. Two love.
Already, Ai looks to have a little bit more control. Although she's still down 3 love, a little bit more control, not than her opponent, but than the other members of her team. Just see how she goes on that deep backhand. Not up.
5 love.
5 love is the score. She's returning a lot of the shots from the Singapore player, but not moving her off the tee at all. It's pretty straightforward at the moment for Mal. Oh, well played. Noticed her opponent coming out to the tee and just ripped it down the wall. Left her stranded. Mal actually applauding that shot. It was just above the tin.
And now 9-1.
Oh, it wasn't up. Oh, yes, it was. He was talking about the following shot. So, nice little drop into the front corner. again. Oh.
And out, turn 3, game ball.
Just a low volley, no chance for II to get there. Oh, best rally, she'll call for a lead.
And out,
No.
10, game ball.
That was the best rally of, I think, the 3 matches we've seen to date. Well,
5-10, game ball. Game to Singapore. Singapore leads 1 game to
11-5. That's some encouragement there for Yhann from Myanmar. One's on the phone, the other's chatting away. The players standing there grinning a little bit to what may be advice about the game or might not be. Thae has been a wonderful player for Singapore over many years, and when she went to the States on scholarship she was really up and coming. Then she became an established player. She was outstanding on the college circuit, the university circuit. She's consistently made herself available for Singapore's selection, and now she might just turn the heat up. Let's see what happens in this second game. She's taken the first 11-5. Just had the feeling that if this had been a really tight match, she would have got some of those shots. She would have chased them down. But this is a match she's going to win. And she might not let the Myanmar opponent get 5 this time. Hope that doesn't sound unfair to II, but the class between the difference between the two is quite obvious. Gets the point here though. 1-5.
Handout 6-1. Seven, 1.
Well, this is a bit different.
Game ball.
Very quick.
Singapore. Singapore leads
11-1. Fan base out to the side, around the back of the side court. Go back to some of the highlights. The toss, who serves first, was one shot in that first game, of which the Singapore player, Mao, applauded. Yeah, applauded the opposition's shot. It was 11-5 in that first, 11-1 now in the second. And Singapore on the way to another 3-0 victory. They've beaten Indonesia already by 3-0. The SEA Games has succeeded in promoting a lot of sports in some countries where the sports weren't being played at all. And squash is one of those. There are a couple of strong nations, of course, Singapore, but particularly Malaysia. And it's an area, in fact, we've seen at these games entries for sports from some countries who'd never entered them before. And that's got to be beneficial. It's what all the sports bodies, all the sports movements from Olympic movement down try to achieve. Participation in a wide range of sports and getting more and more countries involved in them. Here we go, third game. Oh, good shot.
1 love.
Mal noticed her opponent up on her left-hand shoulder. The obvious place to put it was the other side, which she did effectively. And again,
2-1.
great awareness on the court.
3-1.
Yes, she had her in the corner and punched it down the backhand. Tactically so aware. Just a difference there, wasn't that? Was an identical shot, and Mal played it superbly with no problem at all. And I hardly got a racket to it. Oh, going for the boasty low angle.
8-1.
Nice point.
Hand out line 2.
Anticipated that well. So too did Mao anticipate the return. So we now come up to match ball. And it's straightforward, pushed away, 11-2, 11-5, 11-1, 11-2. The game score in this third match, and Singapore achieved their second whitewash of the opposition, having beaten Indonesia by 3-0. They've now beaten Myanmar by the same score. They're marching on to the next round in the teams championship, the Singapore women.
Thank you to all the referees and all the players. One more time, let's give a big round to the team from Myanmar and Singapore.
Swap.
So there's the match scores, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, all on Singapore's side of the draw. So another fine performance from them. It was a very one-sided match against Myanmar, and Singapore 3-0 in this match and 3-0 in their previous contest against Indonesia. They're looking good in the women's team squash. The third round matches had the Philippines playing Thailand, and later on we have Singapore Malaysia. That's at 7 o'clock this evening. Singapore Malaysia, that'll be a good one, the first of the semi-finals. Oh, that's in the singles, sorry, Singapore against Malaysia, so that'll be one in which this place will be packed. So plenty of squash to come here at the SEA Games 2017.